Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review for the last Boss Queen, episode 11. And what I mentioned in the last episode, or the previous episode of Undead Girl Murder Farce, like this week has been great, been like the best episodes for these series, you know, especially with Reborn as a Vending Machine, Undead Girl Murder Farce, and with this episode here out of Last Boss Queen. Like I said before, you know, like in the last video, it just shows, you know, how sadly how anime has gotten better, especially when it is so much better in writing than pretty much of the movies of today. You know, sad to say, you know, like I said, especially a lot of crappy films I've seen over the past 5 or so years, you know, it pissed me off in a lot of ways. And a lot of the times, like, with characters, especially writing and story, it has been nothing but, like, by the numbers, run-of-the-mill, in one ear, out the other, right? But when it comes to anime, especially what I've seen this year, with Tomo-chan as a Girl, My Home Hero, that I should say is the most underrated series I've watched this year. Definitely is the most underrated. And then with Hell's Paradise, Ochinoko, one of the best ones. And then with what I'm reviewing right now, you know, with the Reborn as a Vending Machine, and then Undead Girl Murder Farce, and with this one. The girl I like forgot her glasses. I like though, but I'd probably say this is the least one I've watched this year, but because, you know, it's not like how this, like, the charisma or energy like all the ones I've seen, but it's like I said before, it's been like nothing about harmless, innocent, cute, charming series, right? And with a lot of funny moments too, though. But on a comparison, like with Hell's Paradise or My Home Hero, or compared to romantic comedies like with Tomo-chan, I think is much better though. So, but bro, I like that show though. But I was probably put that on the far upper on the list though. But with this, like I said, once again with well written story and characters, it's been a lot better than with the films I've seen today. You know, sad to say, you know. But with this one, which I'll get into though, it just shows, especially with writing characters, especially with Val, I'm like, this show really knows how to write characters well. It does, especially with Val. But anyway, getting to the last one off, where after with Stale has been so badly injured after dealing with the last guy with Sparks, right? Powell, and then with Val, he needs to still want to find the girls. He finds the girl Safik, but Kemen is missing, so they all go back into the cave, and he's behind the big rock pile. So, like, Valley tries to use his rock power, right, but it's too much rock, so he can't move it. So he tries to dig it out himself. Arthur and Pride, they try to help him out. He's there, but he's too small for him to get out. So he tells them, Arthur and the other knights and Pride, to just go away, you know. But Pride, you know he how we can order him, right? But she goes and says, hey, I order you to block us, you know. I order you to block us. So he has them. He orders her. She orders him to push him away back, and so he can make another wall of rocks in front of them so they can't get in. And with the whole thing, with another part of which I thought was well written too, because it was foreshadowed, which I did not pick up on though, which now it makes total sense. Because they still want to try to get him out, because Safik is outside asking where's Kemet and Val. So Gil, he has an educated guess. We don't hear him tell them, but we hear we'll hear afterwards. But they come back, and she orders Val to let them in. Even says, hey, what are you doing? Even though Rose says, hey, I know I'm a contract though, but you can't make me though. But so she does it anyway. She orders him to remove the wall, right? but she orders him to hold Kemet's hand, right, and then use his rock power. What you thinking? Okay, maybe if something goes wrong, he'll still have him, right? Though, right? But it turns out when he has him hold his hand, he uses his power, and then like all of a sudden, all the rocks everywhere around him, right? It turns into a very well architectural hallway. You know, like when you look at an underground maze and how the rocks are so in perfectly alignment. You know, like. You know, it's like reminds me of the episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! When they're walking in the underground maze where before they meet the Paradox Brothers, right? And Taya goes and says, I mean, check out the rocks. It's like how well organized they are. It's like it's almost man-made. And then before Joey goes and says, they would have to be mole people. But I'm saying how the way the structure of the rocks are well placed, like it was built like an underground tunnel, right? So it turns out that Kemet, his special ability, is to by physical contact, he can increase the other person's ability, which that makes sense now because it was foreshadowed, which I did not pick up on because in the last episode when Sephic blasted those guys with her hydro pump water ability, right? But what I did not notice though, and she did that because she was also holding his hand, which I think she didn't. I think I feel she didn't know though, but because it makes me understand now because when before that happens, when they got out of there and when Sephic's wondering where Val and Kemet are though, right? She wanted to go back at themselves, but the knights wanted to hold her and keep her back, and we see her use her water ability, but it's not the same, right? It's like, the Pokemon moves Hydro Pump, right? But now she's using it, and now it's like a water gun, right? So it's very weak. So I'm like, wait a minute. At first I was like, wait a minute. Can't she just Hydro Pump them away, though? Why is it so weak? Maybe you get that. Maybe I thought it was, because she used up so much of it earlier in the jail cell. No, because it turns out, if I would have paid attention, when she used the Hydro Pump blast, she was also holding his hand. So when she was holding his hand, it increased her water ability. And now I'm thinking like, okay, now that totally makes sense. So when Gil said he had a guess about what Kemet, right? Now when Pride ordered Val to hold Kemet's hand and then uses his ability, that's when all the rocks were all now in perfectly arrangement like a handmade rock tunnel. So they realize because Kemet's ability is to by physical contact, he can increase another person's special ability. Now I'm like, now that makes total sense now. Okay, so now the whole thing is like not collapsing now. And then Val, he has everyone around him, right? That are next to him. He uses his new increased ability to make like a rock, like a space of the rock of the ground that they're standing on rise up, and they can just basically like a surfboard just surf on out of that tunnel while on the rock. And Val, he's just enjoying their laughing. I'm like, I think he's enjoying that a little bit too much, right? Well, I wouldn't blame him because now he never had his increase in his power like that before. So yeah, basically they're just surfing their way out through that tunnel now. So okay, that was very cool. That was very clever. And so then we get these new bad guys. Sorry. We get these new bad guys, right? Which I'm forgetting, are they like Team Rocket? Because they're in a balloon and they have explosives with them, right? And they're just tossing out these bombs, because they say, "Oh, we don't want to go back with half of these bombs left." So they decide just to drop it on them, right? I'm like, that has to be. Are they like Team Rocket? Because they have the lead guy who's holding binoculars. He has this person with them who can basically shield them, make their balloon and then become invisible so no one could see them. And so the person that has that ability, I think it's the guy mentioned the name Tippett. So we don't know about these people. This is like a whole new group of baddies here. So they drop all these sticks of dynamite. Boom, boom, boom. Sefik is on the edge of the cliff. She's about to fall, and then Val just jumps in and throws her out of the way as he falls. So now I'm thinking he's gonna die now. I'm like, after all this, he's now gonna die, and as he's falling, he's in his mind, he's now looking back on his life. He's like a guy like me of all people, a low down, dirty guy who looked after these kids. Basically, at first he didn't really care about, right? And then we get this really nice flashback. Like I said, this shows about how well written they do on characters. With Val's background, his backstory, flashback, and how he met the kids, I'm like, damn, this is very well written. Like the show has been. Because first we get the little thing how when he was a kid, how he was just left by his mom, left in this dump of an area. He got in fights, until he learned to, do thievery and stuff like that to make money for himself. And that's when he first met these two kids, right? And he's like, well, they're not brother and sister. Sefik's like, he's not my family, but he's my little brother now. So I'm like, so he's like, okay, so you're just strangers, right? You took in a stranger. So he's like, he's now not, we're not related though, but he's my little brother now, and he's now my only family. And so, because the kids were picking on them, right? And when Val just goes and walks up to them, the little kids just runs off, right? So the two kids are instantly taken a liking to him, so they follow him around. He's being like their protector, right? Because he's a guy who's basically not dirty but well fed and all that stuff, right? So they feel comfortable with being around him, so they won't get picked on, right? And firstly, he thinks he doesn't want to take care of these kids, but eventually, another month passes by, right? He's grown, like what earlier when he was talking with Pride, right? When in his tossed up room, he has grown to liking these kids quite a lot now. It grows to the point where he cares about them. At first, he did all the years just a bunch of brats and all that stuff, but he really has grown to care about these kids. And especially when we was talking with Pride about that, and she had that hug of embrace, and when he just broke down crying, it shows that he's not an evil guy though, but just bad life and all that stuff though. But he really shows he's really deeply cares for these two kids, like they're his own family now. And that just goes to show what better writing and characters go. And then to the point where okay, so they made some money where she uses her water ability to sell water, make some money off of that. And where he was making money on his own, he splits his dinner, big hunk of meat, right? He splits it with them and gives it to them. And then later, when the two kids got this big fish on their own, and they can have it for a big meal, right, for them, for the three of them. And then everything was going fine. He starts caring for these, and that's when they got caught by that group with the guy with the chains, right, from last episode. The guy with the chains. His group got the kids, and he tries to help them, but he gets beaten up. But the thing is, because he tries to hit them with a rock or whatever, right? He can't do it because due to the contract that he has with Pride, saying that you can't use your fists and all that stuff, right, to do harm. So he can't really fight back. So they had no choice but to get the shit kicked out of him. And then he tells them, hey, you breed me like 5 or so children, I'll let these two go. So he get out before he gets one last kick to the face, and then they walk off. And then it shows, hey, reaching out to the kids and, hey, give them back, give them back, give them back. Him in tears, and then it shows him in his mind, shows of him when he was talking to Pride, and Pride telling him, hey, you can't do no harm though on your own, but if you have any problems, come to me. come to me and I will help you. So that's how the whole thing, the whole speculation of him getting the help from Pry and the others to save these two kids. And then when it comes back to when he's falling to his apparent death, he sees Pry just jump right in after him. I'm like, what are you doing, you idiot, basically? And it's like, I can't let you go. You're my subject, I can't let you go. Let it go. Let it go. And then she whistles, and Stale, just like, him being severely hurt, when as soon as he whistles, she whistles, like, boom. He just gets up right, like, in an instant, because I know Stale wants to be there for her no matter what, whether she's in danger or not. So, just right there, right away, a flip just switched, and he just teleported right down to where they are, and saved both of them. It goes to show that his teleporting abilities has increased a lot, because usually, he teleports within, like, the size of his weight, right? But now he's able to teleport two individuals at the same time. So it shows how much his ability has grown. And now he's able to say that he got saved, and he hugs the two kids, and they both cry in tears of joy. And he's like, "Hey, you better seriously stop crying, because you're gonna hurt somebody's you're making my hearing go bad." And it shows that, hey, this family is not gonna die, whatever he said, I forget though. But now he finally admits now that this is his family now. He's saying, he's sarcastically, "Hey, stop crying, seriously, shut it," right? But now he finally admits how he says this family is not going anywhere, or whatever he said, or I forget the but he ultimately admits that this is his family now. And I'm like, this shows how well written characters are, right? Especially not only in this series, but all the past ones I've said. I give commendable to the people who whether wrote the series, or to the authors of the anime or the mangas and stuff like, right? I'm like, these are very well written characters. And it goes to show, especially a character like Val, how I would say, like, redemption and all that stuff, but this series has been a very well written series, especially for characters. And like I said, all the past ones, like I said, which is why I've enjoyed. This one's, I say, has been the best one I've seen, like with Undead Girl Murder Farce and Reborn as Vending Machine. Like, this week's episodes have been the best ones I've seen. And I really love these. I really love this show, and same with all the previous ones. This year has been a really good year for anime for me. Like I said, with Tomachin as a Girl, Ningen Fusion, my Home Hero, Hell's Paradise, Oshinoko. Then with this series, Last Boss Queen, Undead Girl Murder Farce, and Reborn as a Vending Machine. The Girl I Like, I Forgot Glasses, I like though, but I would say put on the same level though. And even, of course, if anyone knows though, there's been other series I've been watching that I have not been reviewing on here though, because there's other ones I've also really did enjoy watching too. There's Dark Gathering. I thought that's a very creepy and atmospheric paranormal ghost series. I really enjoyed Dark Gathering. It's been a really good series too. With those characters, I've enjoyed. Zom 100, which I've not yet seen the live action Netflix series, but I really enjoy Zom 100. It's been the best zombie series I've seen since High School of the Dead. Really, I can really say that. Zom 100, best one I've seen since High School of the Dead. I really enjoy that series. I've really enjoyed this year has been a really great year for anime for me. Probably say it's one of the best ones. Yeah, there's other ones I've thoroughly enjoyed from last year, like My Dress Up Darling and Reincarnated as a Sword, Call of the Night, Chainsaw Man, Spy Family. Which, by the way, this year's gonna get even better because Spy Family is coming back in the second season. A little bit when October starts, so this year is also going to get even better because I love Spy Family. So yeah, so this year's been even though I'm not the ones I haven't not reviewed on here, but I'm still watching. I'm watching those series even though I'm not reviewing on my channel though. I said Dark Gathering, Psalm 100. Those shows I really did enjoy because those are horror ones I really thoroughly do enjoy though. So yeah, just because a lot of times when I review episodes on here, but it doesn't mean there's other ones I have not reviewed, but I'm watching off camera. So yeah, but if everyone asks though, what I've not watched though, yeah, I've seen Dark Gathering, I've seen Psalm 100. Those are really great shows. I've seen as well. And Spy Classroom that I started at the start of the year when I was doing Tomo-chan and Ningen Fusion. I only got up to 2 episodes though because my schedule, my work was not working out, so that didn't work out. So I had to cut Spy Classroom short. But I really like that series too as well though. I like Spy Family, and I know that's getting a second season too, so I'm looking forward to that as well. But anyway, all that though, but it shows like a lot of times, like I said, with well-written characters and story, is why this year has been really great. You know, like I said, it's sad to say they've done a lot better in writing and story on the writing of story and characters, a lot better than this year in films. You know, Skinamarink, which that's gonna be one of the spoiler. I spoiled her. I was gonna surprise you, but that just slipped out though. Yes, if you're wondering Skinamarink, yes, that's gonna be one I'll be ranting on on Halloween month. That was I let that slip out because I was gonna say ones that like the films of this year have been writing and story and characters, you know. So yeah, Skinamarink. Yeah, I spoiled it right there though, but because that slipped out I was talking about films this year and that slipped out. So, but hey. There is one that's gonna be coming up in October for Halloween month. So, hope you're looking forward to that though. But I would say I'm talking about writing a story. What writing and what story and characters I've seen in that film that was scary or anything, nothing. So I hope you're looking forward to that though, because I gave you a spoiler right there. I'm not gonna say any more of what's coming out for Halloween month. That's all surprises for you. So. But that was an accident. I didn't mean to let that one slip out. But yeah. But Last Boss Queen with Val, the writing on Val was extremely well written. It was great with him, with his whole backstory, with him first not caring about the kids, but now he shows he does. He considers now they're his family, and with his 2 kids, like the whole thing with Kemen's ability to increase power, which I did not see because it was foreshadowed, but I did not pick up on that though. And it was very well written. Like I said, I've enjoyed this episode a lot. It was been the best one I've seen this series. So we'll just see for the next week though. See what happens. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the more to come, and we'll see you next time. Later.